Hello, everyone. My name is Finuela, your WMI Regional Coordinator for West Africa. Today, we're talking about examination anxiety reduction. Examination anxiety is a combination of bodily tension, fear of failure, and dread that can occur before or during an examination. The question is, why are we so concerned about this? Because research has shown that high levels of examination anxiety can lead to difficulties comprehending simple instructions, high rates of distraction, lower rates of retention, or recalling retained information. And what is the consequence of all of this? Reduced academic performance and low self-esteem. The good news is that today we are going to be looking at tips for reducing examination anxiety from two scholars in the top 1% of their major in their respective universities. We are going to be hearing from Deekshanta Sitaula of Nepal, who studied medicine and surgery at the Chiton Medical College, and also Esther Alari, who is currently in her final year of medical school studying medicine and surgery at the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. I'm really very excited to be having this presentation today. And Esther, over to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Esther and I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips on how to overcome examination anxiety. So my very first tip is that you should make sure that you make judicious use of past questions, because most people think departments will sit down and start setting questions from the scratch. Although some departments do that, some faculties in fact do that, but most times they are too busy with, like, the professors and the lecturers there, they are too busy with publishing papers and trying to like move up the rank in their respective fields, that they don't actually set fresh questions. Because if a department has been existing for like the past 50 years, they have tons of questions already. So they don't think it's wise to start wasting their time setting questions. So if you have the question bank and you are able to practice it, make sure you practice early. You don't want to start like 3 days to the exam. You have to start like very early. In fact, I would advise you start on the very first day you receive your lecture. So once you do that, you'll be very confident to know what type of things are my lecturers expecting me to learn, what type of things are they looking out for, and then you can study with that pattern and makes it very, very easy. Once you are very prepared, you wouldn't be that anxious. So that's my very first tip. I hope that's useful. My second tip is that you should make sure that you get really good scores in your pre-exam continuous assessment exercises, because for example, in my university, continuous assessment makes up 40% of the total marks. So it's like it's almost half. So you can't like waste away your time during these assessments and get very low score and expect to pass, except you are maybe like a genius. But if you are someone that is an average student and you are just trying your best to stay above the failure line, you have to like give in your best during those assessment times. You can actually get maybe even get 35 over 40, and from that you know that you have to work for probably 15 more marks in the exam, and like to get 50, which is the pass mark. And that would make you feel very confident, because getting 15 over 60 is kind of easy than when you have to work for the entire 50 over 60. So I hope you that makes sense. And the third point I'm going to speak on is that you should maybe form discussion groups and reading partners. It's very important, because some people are scared when they are alone. They feel like, oh, I've not read a lot. What am I doing? This is not something I should be doing. My classmates know more than I do, and they are already jittering. They are already anxious. But when you are in a discussion group and you trust these people to always say the truth about their own study patterns, you would realize that you are not the dullest person out of the lot. There are quite a number of people that are on the same grade as you. By grade, I mean on the same thinking level. They've read just as much as you, and they are not magicians. So once you know, like, you can compare yourself directly with your classmates, and then you'll be able to tell that these people, we are actually all on the same pedestal, and we can only go up from here. There's no fear of me being left behind. So that's something. And I know group discussions does not work for everybody. So this point really applies to people that can benefit maximally from group discussions. Um, the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is that exams are not the end of the world. So you should do things that keep you happy. For me, I like listening to music. I like seeing movies. Yes, I do. I see movies like few days to the exam because it keeps me happy. Those are stress relieving activities. So I like to do that and it keeps me really grounded. For you, it might be taking a walk in the park. It might be cooking. It might be discussing with your friends. It can be anything really, even prayers for the religious people. You want to do that. You should not read 24 hours before the exam. It's not productive. Do that and keep your mind calm because, like I said, exams are not the end of the world. And the last point is that you should realize that exams are majorly subjective. So you might do everything right. You might read for 10 hours every day, and you might just like I said, do everything right and still fail the exam. That's happened multiple times, even in my medical school. So you should know that regardless of what you put in, the outcome really is not really determined by all these things you've done. It really is very subjective. So you want to know that's what like it really links to my last point that said exam is not the end of the world. So once you take that free spirit lifestyle approach in your exams, it's going to be really easy for you to stay calm because you know whatever the outcome is, you'll be able to like move forward. In Nigeria, we say something called anything when one sup go sup. Like just have that lifestyle and feel like regardless of what I do, it's not really me that will determine the outcome, and then you'll be able to really be less anxious. And these are all I have for you. I hope you've benefited today. Thank you very much. Inuela, over to you.
Thank you so much, Esther, for that very beautiful presentation and the tips that you have given us. That's so very helpful, especially for me. Deekshanta, over to you.
Thank you, Finola. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Deekshanta Sitaula from Nepal. So today I'll be talking about three major topics on examination anxiety reduction tips. So first, before starting the points, I would like to see, so what are the things, what are the causes of the anxiety? You know, if we try to analyze, it's either the fear of the uncertain or the fear of failure that's troubling us and that's causing anxiety within us. So my points are based on getting an edge over those fears, the fear of uncertain and fear of failure. The first point is about planning and preparation, because if we don't have a proper plan and if we are unprepared, of course, we are going to feel anxious about the exam. So it just says the preparation for the exam begins from the first day. We should always keep in our mind the preparatory part regarding the examination, because there are some questions which are always important for examination. As Esther has already said, the past questions are always important for the examination. So we should make a habit of reading past questions. And if we have time, if we can do some mock test before the real examination, it is surely going to prepare our system for the real examination. So the first point is on the preparation and planning, because that is what we need. If we feel prepared, if we have a proper plan, we are clear about examination and we are confident, then our anxiety will reduce a lot.
Okay, we've lost Deekshanta for a while, but he's going to come on shortly. Please stay with us.
Okay. The second point is about the changing our mindset and changing the way we think and we work, because we live in this world which is really competitive, and we have been taught to be goal oriented and focus on our goal. The way that this kind of lifestyle is itself a cause of anxiety, because when we are totally focused in our goal, we spend a lot of energy thinking about the result of our work, then it is of course going to affect our performance, and it is also going to create anxiety within us. So in yoga, I'm a practitioner of yoga, and in yoga it is always taught to focus on the process rather than be totally focusing on the result and worrying about the result. So as a student of yoga and as a practitioner of yoga, this habit has really helped me to cope up with the anxiety of examination. So this is my point too. We should make a habit of enjoying our activity. We should make a habit of uh, focusing on our activity more rather than worrying about the results. So it's like from goal-orientedness to process-orientedness. It's like tweaking of your competence rather than tweaking of your ambitions and worrying about your ambitions. So this is the point number 2. If we can enjoy whatever we are doing, then of course the result is going to be good. So the point number 2 is creating a habit of being activity oriented or process oriented rather than worrying a lot about the result. If our activity is well, then the result is of course going to be well. This is a simple principle. So in this highly competitive world where everyone is being taught to totally spend their time thinking about the results, we should make a habit of enjoying our activity, because it is our activity what is going to give us good results. So this is my point number 2 regarding the changing our mindset from goal orientedness to process orientedness. And the third point is about, it's a bit of practical tips, it's about yoga. So as a practitioner of yoga, it has really benefited in my physical and mental health. And I'm always benefited from this yogic classical yogic hatha yoga, that is physical yoga and meditation. So there are advanced yoga which can't be learned from online. We have to attend the workshop and we have to learn them from teachers. But there are some meditation that are available online. And the 2 meditations that are available online, which I am doing, is are Isakriya and Chit-Shakti. These are the techniques that are basically based on our breath and our thoughts. So when we can observe our breath and our thoughts and be in a meditative stress, even for a small period of time or even for a few minutes, they act like stress relieving activity, or they act like uh, the techniques are to calm our mind. So we can practice that. I am in the chat box. I am leaving the link for Isakriya. So if you have any time, you can practice it. It is a 15-minute meditation and with guided instructions before starting the meditation. And it is going to help everyone a lot, I'm sure, because I have benefited a lot from this meditation. And doing this kind of yogic practices during examination is really going to boost up our energy and relieve our stress. So these are my 3 topics of today. The number 1, I want to summarize it once again, is about planning and preparation. Number 2 is about being more activity oriented or process oriented rather than worrying just about the results. And number 3 is about getting used to some yogic meditations or breathing exercises that are going to help to relieve our anxiety or stress. So thank you. These are the 3 topics that I want tips for reducing examination anxiety.
Thank you so much, Deekshanta. This was really beautiful. I've learned a lot from this session. The parts that I really, really loved: plan and prepare prior to the examination, avoid unhealthy comparisons, and to do relaxing things, relaxing activities It can be yoga, it can be cooking. Wow, I found that really nice. Thank you so much for this. This was really helpful. And thank you also, the WMI Scholars, for taking time to watch this video. I hope you learned a lot from it and that you go by it again at your spare time. Thank you for watching.